Hi Primary Fives, I'm going to read the rest of Miss Douglas's chapter. Unfortunately, technology wasn't great when we were trying to upload it, so we've kind of missed a bit off then. So this is the rest of chapter 12. The whole forest was lit up with the fire from the torches. I jumped into the stream. It was around this time of year, in the depth of winter, and the water was icy. The cold shook me and I could barely breathe. I clapped my hands over my mouth to stifle a scream. I could hear the dogs getting nearer and nearer, barking and barking. There must have been dozens of them. I look behind me and I can see their sharp teeth gleaming in the moonlight. So I waded across the stream and started climbing the tree. My hands were muddy and my legs and feet were wet, and I kept slipping down the trunk. I frantically rubbed my hands on my nightshirt and began to climb again. I scrambled to the very top of the tree and stayed as still as I could. I could hear the dogs and the army of Davenport's men follow the stream down to a different part of the forest. The dogs' ferocious barks became distant, and after a while the torches were just specks in the distance. I was safe. I shivered up that tree for hours. I waited until dawn, slid down the tree, and made my way back to our cottage. I crept into bed and lay there for a few moments before the sun rose. Ben could picture everything she described perfectly in his mind. Granny had him utterly spellbound. "Did they come looking for you?" he asked. Well, no one got a good enough look at me, so Davenport had his men search everywhere in the village. Every cottage was turned upside down to look for the ring. "Didn't you say anything?" "I wanted to. I felt so guilty. But I knew if I owned up, I would be in deep trouble. Lord Davenport would have me publicly flogged in the village square." "So what did you do?" "I swallowed it." Ben couldn't believe his ears. "The ring, Granny? You swallowed the ring?" "I thought it was the best way to hide it, in my stomach. A few days later it came out when I went to the toilet." "That must have been painful," said Ben, his bum wincing at the thought. Passing a big diamond ring out of his bottom didn't sound in any way enjoyable. "It was painful, excruciating in fact," Granny grimaced. "The good thing was that our cottage had been searched already from top to bottom." "Not my bottom. The bottom of the cottage, I mean." Ben chuckled. "And Davenport's men had moved on searching the next village. So one night I went off into the woods and hid the ring. I placed it where no one would ever look, under a rock in the stream." "Clever," said Ben. "But that ring was the only first of many, Ben. Stealing it had been the biggest thrill of my life, and as I lay in bed each night, all I dreamed about was stealing more and more diamonds. That ring was just the beginning," continued Granny in a low whisper, staring deep into Ben's innocent young eyes, "of a lifetime of crime."